What's up, guys? I'll warn you now, a lot of spoilers in this video. Again, if you haven't seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2 yet, don't watch this video. And for anyone else who's still here, I'll get started. This is my, let's say, theory video on what happened to Norman Osborne, the fate of Norman Osborne. If you've seen the film, then you'll know that Harry Osborne was stood over Norman Osborne while he was on his deathbed, and Norman says to Harry, the legacy of the Osbornes is we all have a disease that is slowly killing us, and, did you know it was genetic? And it gets passed to Harry, obviously, and, like I said yesterday, Harry Osborne is in an attempt to cure it, which is why he becomes the Goblin. And after that little scene between Harry and Norman, we see the Oscorp AI declaring Norman Osborne officially dead, and then we see a hazmat team of sorts cleaning Norman Osborne's bed. Apparently, I've only actually seen the film once, but apparently you can see Norman Osborne in the bed. It was actually one of my sources that said she could see Norman Osborne's head still in the bed as it was being cleaned, but I never noticed it. If you guys have noticed that Norman Osborne was still there, then let me know if I've missed anything. And Oscorp hides a lot from the public eye, and it was actually one of the trailers that we see in the secret underground Oscorp facility that Norman Osborne's head was in cryogenic stasis, and the gentleman, I think he's called, which is the man in the hat with the trench coat, very dark, can't really see him. So the gentleman walks up to Norman Osborne in the trailer and says, "Wake up, my friend." But that was actually taken out of the film. I'm not 100% sure why. And my source said, she could see the Norman Osborne's head still in the bed, so I don't know what that might mean. I've heard people speculating that they could see the little jar which Norman Osborne's head was in when it was in cryogenic stasis in the trailer. Again, not sure. I never noticed it. If you guys have, then let me know. While we're on the subject of the gentleman, another one of my sources, and my good friends, Mr. Ben Wheeler, has studied up on this for me, and the gentleman's name is Gustav Fierce, we think, and he has something to do with the Sinister Six, which is, obviously the next film next year. And, I don't know who he is. If you guys do, again, please let me know. Gustav Fierce, that's apparently the gentleman's name. He's also known as the gentleman, if it helps, so if you guys can get any information on that, please do. Please let me know. So, the speculation of whether Norman Osborne has died or not, I'm not 100% sure. From what we saw in the trailer, he was supposed to be in cryogenic stasis. He was still alive. Well, his head was at least. And you don't actually see him die, like I said, you just see the AI declaring that Norman Osborne is dead. And I actually speculated that the gentleman, Mr. Gustav Fierce, I speculated that it was actually Norman Osborne to begin with, because, you know, had the very deep voice of Norman Osborne, kind of reminded me of him. It might not necessarily have actually been true, but you know, it's a theory. Like I said, this is a theory video, and my source and good friend, Mr. Ben Wheeler, has said, you know, that gentleman could have possibly been Dr. Otto Octavius. You know, if you remember in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, he wore the same basic outfit, trench coat and hat, to hide his arms. So, you know, very, very good theory right there. So, yeah, if you guys can, you know, if you guys can figure out whether anything has happened to Norman Osborn, you know, if he has died, if he hasn't died, I personally say that he hasn't, because, you know, Oscorp again keeps a lot hidden from the public eye, and yeah, that's all I can really say about Norman Osborne and the gentleman, guys. So I will leave you to, you know, summarise my theories and the theories of my friends and sources. You know, if you guys can add anything else to this video, you know, please comment, you know, rate, subscribe, you know. I'm always happy to have my public viewers help me out. And I'm off for now, guys.